to One Church Brighton. I'm Leanne. I'm one of the ministers here. It's my pleasure to welcome you, whether you are joining us online, here for the 100th time, or just visiting us today. You're so welcome. We are going to be looking at the second week of our series called Speaking Christian, where we're unpacking some well-worn phrases and words from our faith tradition. And today, Dave is going to be looking at belief and faith. We also have the joy of celebrating a dedication. So Frankie will be dedicated this morning, and I know there's lots of people here to participate in that. So what to expect, especially if it's your first time, or you're just the kind of person who likes to know what's coming up. So shortly, we will say some prayers together and sing. We'll have a little bit of an opportunity, if we're in the right mood, to have a chat with the people around us. We'll hear about some things going on in the life of church, have that dedication, and then the children, so junior school, primary age children, will go out to their groups. Youth are staying in today. And then Dave's going to come and talk to us in a little sandwich of singing with a talk in the middle. So that's what is coming up. So we're going to use a piece of liturgy now. So I invite you to join me in saying the words in orange. And this is just an opportunity for us to be present, find ourselves in this space. So if you're able to, I invite you to stand whilst we do this, and we'll go straight into some singing from there. So just a reminder, I will say the words in white, and please do join me in the words in orange. Welcome to the joyful. May we be able to share that joy here. Welcome to the tired and weary. May we find rest here. Welcome to the lonely. May we find community here. Welcome to the sick. May we find healing here. Welcome to those who mourn. May we find comfort here. Welcome to the foreigner, the stranger, the refugee. May we find safety here. Welcome to every nation, every race, every sexual orientation, every gender identity. May we find hospitality here. The God who delights in all of creation is in our midst. Thanks be to God. Amen.
Great, thanks, Leanne. We're going to sing a few songs together. First one is a bit of a sort of hoedown, so sort of if you feel like grabbing your partner at any point, then see how you feel. And Lord, I find you in the seeking, Lord, I find you in the doubt, and to know you is to love you, and to know so little else I need you. Oh, how I need you, and oh, how I need you, and oh, how I need you. And Lord, I find you in the seeking, Lord, I find you in the doubt, and to know you is to love you, and to know so little else I need you. Oh, how I need you, and oh, how I need you, and oh, how I need you. And Lord, I find you in the morning, Lord, I seek you every day. Let my life be for your glory, woven in your threads of grace. I need you. Oh, how I need you. shine. Break the dawn, crack the sky, make the way bright before me. In your light I will find all I need is you. And like glorious light I will go where you shine. Break the dawn, crack the sky, make the way bright before me. In your light I will find all I need is you. And oh how I need you, oh how I need you, and oh how I need you, oh how I need you, oh and oh how I need you, oh how I need you, and oh how I need you, oh how I need you, and oh how I need you, oh how I need you, and oh how I need you, and oh how I need you. No place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love. And no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love. And no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love. No place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love. So set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain and I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain and I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. No place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love. And no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be, no place I'd rather be than here in your love, here in your love. And holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, Jesus, the only one who could ever save. You're worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Jesus the name. Jesus the name above every other name. Jesus the only one who could ever save. And worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up our eyes in wonder and show us who you are and fill us with your heart and lead us in your love to those around us. And I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken, and we will put our trust in you alone. It is a firm foundation, and we will put our trust in you alone, and we will not be shaken. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up our eyes in wonder and show us who you are and fill us with your heart and lead us in your love to those around us.
Do take your seats. Thank you. So, we are going to have a little chat to the people around us, if we're in the right mood for that today. Never any pressure. But thinking about the topic that we're going to be looking at later, my question for you is, what do you believe in? And oddly for a church, I'm going to say, aside from God and those things, what other things that you might put your belief into? It could be a person, it could be a group of people, it could be a thing. So that's just a little prompt to get you chatting. Obviously, introduce yourselves if you've not met before, and we'll just take a few minutes for a bit of discussion with the people around us. Okay, if we can come back together. Always feel bad for breaking up conversations when you're probably just getting into the juice of the discussion. But thank you for getting involved in that. Sometimes we do feedback. We've got quite a lot to fit in this morning, so we won't do feedback, but hopefully it's got your brains whirring and be interesting to see when we pick up on that talk later if anything comes out there. So I'm going to run through some notices, lots of great things going on in the life of this church. If you're new, not necessarily just visiting today, but if you're going to be sticking around, fill in one of these cards and get signed up to our weekly newsletter, because that's the best way to hear about everything that's going on and get all the links to sign up for various things. But here we go. This afternoon, rescheduled, and I think definitely much better weather than last Sunday. We've got a kids' activity 3 till 5 over at Rock Farm. There's going to be pumpkin carving and hot chocolate and lots of fun things. So speak to Maddie or Sam if you... It's obviously primarily aimed at the small people, the tiny humans. But if you and your family are not already signed up to that, please speak to Maddie and Sam. Then this evening, in partnership with our friends at Citygate Church, we have an All Souls service. So an opportunity to reflect, particularly if we've lost someone recently, or other kinds of grief, and just an opportunity to stop and reflect. They do such a beautiful job of creating these lovely floral displays and things. That will just be a really beautiful space to have some reflective time, and that's here at 6 p.m. On Friday, we've got our next Lark and Bloom Library Late. So the Lark and Bloom Library is this amazing collection of literature that we have over in the corner here, and on the last Friday of every month from 7 till 9:30 you can come and read, chill out, do some crafts, play some games. It's just a nice social opportunity for people to come together, whether they're part of the church or not. A really nice mixture of people. Another Lark and Bloom Library event that's coming up in a few weeks is a Ceilidh, which is going to be at our other building in Gloucester Place. We've got Belver, who are the band who played on our Bridget Feast, if you remember them. And this time they're bringing a Ceilidh caller, so we don't have to make up our own folk dancing, which was fun, but had mixed results, I think it's fair to say. And we've got Aflo the poet and Bud Beginnings, two local spoken word artists as well, raising money for a couple of grassroots campaigns linked to Palestine. And then I'm going to tell you about Love Food, Share Food. I don't know if any of you have seen this around when you've been eating out in Brighton, but this great organisation working with restaurants, encouraging people to donate £1 every time when they visit the restaurant, and then the money is split between us for Chomp and the Brighton Food Bank. So they have different campaigns through the year. Obviously, lots of people are going to be eating out as we get up into the run up to Christmas. And so an opportunity for us is to think about, are there any more places, any more restaurants, local eateries? We certainly have plenty of them in Brighton who might be up for joining that campaign. Maybe you're good mates with the owner of your local restaurant, and you could encourage them to sign up. So if there's somewhere that's particularly, that you've got a good relationship with, or you think has got a good vibe and would be up for joining in, come and grab some of these from me. It'd be great if we could get a bunch more restaurants signed up to that. We've already had £5,000 for Chomp this year through that scheme, so it'd be great to go even bigger and better as we lead up to Christmas. Then I've just got a little bit more notices for you just around partnerships. So I think 2 weeks ago now we had our annual partnership service. That's where we renew our membership every year and make a conscious decision to say, yes, I want to be part of One Church for the coming year. I'm going to partner in that. So if you haven't already signed up and that is something that you would like to do, it's still open. You can scan the QR code here, or we've got some cards up here. So when we go into the next chunk of music, if you haven't done your partnership pledge yet, you can come up and grab one of those. And a couple of things that are just a slight extension of that. In a couple of weeks' time, we're having an event here on Saturday the 8th called the One Church Gathering, an opportunity for us to come and spend some time together. The day's going to look a little bit like this, and people across the community are offering different things to make that kind of big chunk of the afternoon where there's lots of different activities, to make that really fun and varied. So thank you to everyone who's already signed up and offered something. We've got book swaps and mending, games, talks, creative writing, cooking, all sorts of fun things. And we are going to have to close the booking for that this next Sunday. So you've got a week. Please get signed up to that. And finally, the Forum and AGM. Part of being a partner in this church is when there are things to vote on, we get to vote on them. It's all about us making decisions as a whole community. I don't think there's anything major to vote on at this next one, but it's always an opportunity. Come and ask us questions. Come and share ideas. On Partnership Sunday, Dave said, we're really thinking about what might the new projects that we're going to be launching over the coming months and years be. So this is a place to come and ask questions and share your ideas, and that will be on Sunday the 23rd. So we now get to the fun part of today's service, where we have our dedication for Frankie. So there are lots of different ways that different church traditions honour and mark the arrival of children. It's our practice as a church that baptism is something which people choose for themselves when they are old enough to do so. So when a child is born into our community, there's an opportunity for the family and the whole church to take this moment to give thanks, to pray for the child, and to dedicate their life into the hands of our loving God. Tamsin and Craig have chosen to mark the occasion of Frankie's arrival with a dedication as a way for Frankie to be welcomed into our community, for them to share some of their intentions as parents, and for us all to lift Frankie up as he begins his own exploration of faith and connection with the divine. And this is going to be my first dedication. It's a real honour for me because I moved to the area a similar time to Tamsin and Craig. We were in the same journey group for a while, so really honoured that you've asked me to lead the dedication. And Tamsin and Craig have some particular language, some words for describing God that's meaningful to them that we've woven through the prayers and declarations that we'll go through together in a moment. So Tamsin and Craig, why don't you come up and join me? And Frankie, of course. Let's give them a little round of applause. Okay, so before we start, I would love to ask you what your prayer is for Frankie on this special day. Who's going to take that?
Firstly, thank you all for being so warm to us all. We would love it if those of you that are inclined to pray to be praying for us. So the prayer that we have for Frankie for today is that he'll feel the love of all of our wonderful church community and of our friends and of our family. We also pray that whatever Frankie's faith looks like, that they'll be nourished and nurtured on the journey by all of us here.
Amazing. He's already grabbing for the mic, ready to some real main character energy there. Love that. Is there anything that we can be praying for the two of you in this season? And do watch that.
In terms of prayer for both of us, we would love prayer for wisdom as in there's so many decisions that you have to make in life, but when we become a parent, there's so many decisions that Google can't help us with that much. So prayer for wisdom, prayer for our home, that our home will be a place of warmth and welcome to all. And also prayer for Frankie's little life, that he can become a blessing to all he meets.
Thank you. So, I'm going to switch mics now, if that's okay, just to... that's not going to work, is it? I don't fancy my chance of holding a baby and reading and... I can hold it for now. Well, yeah, I'll give you the nod when I need an assist. Thank you. I don't think that will fit in here. You can try. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so here we go. God, our Creator, in giving Tamsin and Craig this child, you have shown us more of your love. We thank you for the joy of Frankie, for the wonder of life, for a safe delivery in the peace of their home, and for the privilege you have given Tamsin and Craig in becoming parents. Okay, we're going to have to share the mic for a moment. What is the name that you have given your child?
Frankie Lawrence.
Tamsin and Craig, do you commit to respect, encourage and guide Frankie and order your lives so that they will be surrounded by goodness and love?
We
will. Both are valid answers. That's good. It's good. Do you commit to help Frankie by your example and your teaching, to be a steward of the earth, challenge injustice, and help others?
We do.
Do you commit to loving Frankie unconditionally?
We do.
And do you commit to sharing your beliefs with Frankie and encouraging them along their own faith journey?
We do.
We do.
Beautiful. So now I would like to invite Anton and Genevieve, who are going to be Frankie's godparents, to come and join us. Woo-hoo. So I've got one question for the two of you, which you're going to say, we will too, okay? Genevieve and Anton, Tamsin and Craig have chosen you to give special extra care, concern and support to Frankie, both now and in the years to come. Will you, with God's help, pray for Frankie, help protect Frankie from harm, go out of your way to encourage them in all things, and make every effort to play a proactive role in loving them and whatever choices they may make in the future? We will. Amazing. Okay, now we get to the fun/tricky part. Where we had a rehearsal. Yeah, we're going to go like this so that Frankie can see everybody. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Frankie, we greet you in the name of God, our Mother, and we welcome you into this church community. I think you're going to be a poet or a singer, maybe. Whoa, okay, let's go here. Gathered here as members of Frankie's family, friends and church, we are asking you to offer Frankie your guidance, love and support. For those who pray, we ask that you be faithful in your prayers, share your faith with Frankie by your words and your example. It is the responsibility of all of us to ensure that not only Frankie, but all the children we know understand the special place they have within humanity and the world. It's also our responsibility to show by action that all people are loved by God and that God will be with Frankie wherever they go. So, I've got 3 questions for everyone here. I'm going to ask you to stand if you're able. And the 3 questions I'm going to ask is the same answer every time. We will. And it might be Frankie's first words. Who knows? Will you love Frankie and welcome them into this community? We will. Will you support Craig and Tamsin in their journey of parenthood? We will. And for all the children gathered, will you always try to widen their vision of the world and deepen their understanding of a creator who loves them dearly? Great. You may take your seats again. We're almost there, and then you can just play with the mic in a minute. We rejoice, Frankie, for you are a wondrous gift from God, our creator and source. You are deeply known and deeply loved. Yes. Grow strong in kindness and compassion, rooted in the love of God, our mighty friend. We pray that your life will overflow with gentleness, courage, and joy. That learning from the example of Jesus, you will be a helper to those in need, a seeker of justice, and a bearer of peace in a world that longs for healing. And we've just got one last bit. Stick with me. Here we go. You're doing so good. Okay. May you walk boldly in God's love, never afraid to stand up for what is right, always open to grace and guided by a spirit of truth. We ask the Holy Spirit, our steady protector and sustainer, to bless you with a tender heart. Yeah. That feels deeply, a clear mind that questions wisely, and a brave spirit that hopes fiercely. Frankie, may the blessing of God, our source, Saviour and Sustainer, be with you now and always. Amen. Yes. Well done. We got there. So much. So, our children are going to go out to their groups now. Oh, thank you. So, if you are junior school age, lots of people, half-term activities, okay. Have a lovely time. And the Buds room is open as well. So if you've got a baby in arms, you can watch the talk being streamed into the other room if you would appreciate perhaps a slightly more chilled out space to do what you need to do in that space. So we're going to sing again now. And some of the songs today are songs that Tamsin and Craig have asked for that are meaningful to them. It's a bit more of a reflective session. Do we want to stand or stay seated?
I think for the first one, we have sung it a couple of times before, but I think stay seated and sort of let it wash, maybe. And then maybe for the second, you can join us in standing. Your eyes and breathe. Feel the ground questions come, acknowledge them and bring yourself back to your breath. Heaven here, in on all the mess. And it is holy here and now. And it is holy here and now. And truly I tell, nothing I ask of thee. Come as you are, see nothing phases me. Don't mind them questioning, just bring yourself back to your breath. 'Cause heaven is here, in on all the mess. And it is holy here and now. Oh, it is holy here and now. And we're standing on holy ground. It's holy here and now. We're standing on holy ground. It's holy here and now. Here and now. We're standing on holy ground. It's holy here and now. It's holy here and now. Here and now. Ooh. We're standing on holy ground. It's holy here and now. We're standing on holy ground. It's holy here and now. Here and now. Right here and now, close your eyes and breathe. Feel the ground steady under your feet. If questions come, acknowledge them and bring yourself back to your breath. Heaven here, in on all the mess. If you're able and would like to, let's stand and we'll sing I Want to Know You, Lord. I wanna know you, Lord, like I know a friend. I wanna know you, Lord. I wanna know you, Lord, like I know a friend. I wanna know you, Lord. So I'm laying down. So I'm laying down all my religion. I'm laying down. I wanna know you, Lord. Oh, I'm laying down all my religion. I'm laying down. I wanna know you, Lord. I wanna know you, Lord. And I used to think that I could box you in, but I'm laying down. Oh, I wanna know you, Lord. And I used to think that I could box you in, but I'm laying down. Oh, I wanna know you, Lord. So I'm laying down all my religion. Oh, I'm laying down. Oh, I wanna know you, Lord. So I'm laying down all my religion. And I'm laying down. Oh, I wanna know you, Lord. Lord, I've been told to be ashamed. Lord, I've been told I don't measure up. Lord, I've been told I'm not good enough, but you're here with me. So I reach out and you find me in the dust, and you say no amount of untruth can separate us. I'm laying down. I want to know you, Lord. I'm laying down all my religion. I'm laying down. I want to know you, Lord.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name's Dave. Is this on? Can you hear me? Yeah. My name's Dave. I'm one of the ministers here, and I'm doing the talk, the sandwich talk, and this is it. I'm starting right now. It's happening. And what we're doing, if you've just sort of come in during the service or it wasn't clear at the beginning, we're doing this sort of quite simple thing, but I also think quite profound and possibly interesting. Blow your minds with interesting. Basically, we use words. That's all we can do. It's the way we work as human beings. It's the way we communicate with each other. We use words. So words are powerful, profound things. It's all we've sort of got. It's the tools we've got to describe our feelings. It's the tools we have to describe the world around us. So words matter. And some words particularly change in their meaning over time. And that doesn't matter for a lot of things. But we tell our stories by using words. We understand ourselves by using words. Words have this sort of gravitas and importance. And within Christian faith, we have these words that not only have meaning, but they have meaning that's changed. And they have meaning that when we use them, all of us in the room are maybe thinking of different things. So just as a little thought exercise, this might be sort of weird. And it's sort of such an obvious question I'm going to ask you to think about, but I wonder when the last time you were asked it. And I want you to just, you might want to close your eyes, and I just want you to just reflexively do a little thought exercise. I'm not going to get any feedback or anything. You're not going to speak to the person next to you. But the question I want you to just allow yourself to answer is, do you believe in God? Just think about that for a few moments. I wonder what was sort of going on even in that asking of the question. I wonder where your mind goes. I wonder if you started out with a statement of, yeah, of course I do, I'm here in church. And maybe quite swiftly followed with some other thoughts. Well, do I really? What does that mean? Do I today, and have I always, and all kinds of things? Because we use these words in a Christian setting like this, and we talk about believing in God, but we also use the word belief and believing in everyday sort of language. And is there a difference? Is there a difference between the way we use the word belief in a kind of general way and when we use it in Christian ways? And what I want to do is just think a little bit about the way we've used it in Christian ways. It's become quite a loaded thing. It's become quite a difficult thing. And I'm going to explain why. Because in kind of everyday language, we can use the word like believe. Like if somebody says, do you think it's going to rain tomorrow? And you say, I believe it is, because you saw a forecast, or because, it's been raining recently, or whatever your evidence is. You can say, I believe something is. Does that make sense? You're not saying I know for 100%, but to say, well, I believe it is. If somebody says to you the phrase like, you need to believe in yourself more, what does that mean? It feels to me like the word belief when we use it in normal language. When you say I believe it, you're not saying 100% certain. You're using it to say that's my inclination. Does that make sense? And it sort of sits somewhere between absolute certainty and absolute uncertainty, between what is known and what isn't known. And so the word belief fits there. And then you have a phrase like, do you believe in God? And you think, well, there's The stakes are so much higher. What does the word believe, or what are you asking me when you ask the question of whether or not I believe in God? Surely it's more than that. Surely it should have more certainty and weight as a Christian, because the things you believe matter. Marcus Borg, who wrote this book called Speaking Christian, that those of us who are speaking on Sundays are kind of using as a vaguely kind of helpful thing. But he begins the book by saying the problem with a lot of Christian language is it's based on what he calls the heaven and hell framework. That all the words that we use about God, all the sort of heavy Christian words like redemption and sin and righteousness and forgiveness and faith and belief, essentially have all come down to matter about, is it going to get you to heaven or is it going to get you to hell? And when you reduce everything to that and its meaning, in Christianese, and I was certainly brought up this way, the reason that you can get a bit stressed by whether you believe or not is because I was actually told quite clearly, or so I thought, that what you believe will decide whether you go to heaven or hell. I think about that for a moment. Because the problem for me, and the reason it gets so heightened in me, is when I think that way, I think, well, what is belief? What that little exercise we just did is essentially our thoughts. Yeah? Our belief are our thoughts. And, crumbs, we believe in a God who can read our thoughts. That's scary. Or do we? What belief? I wonder how many people have thought, I don't think he can read our thoughts. That's helpful. But I think we believe in a God who can read our thoughts, don't we? Yeah? It sort of almost comes naturally. Of course he can hear our thoughts. Because how else would you pray? You'd always have to pray out loud. So he can read our thoughts. I am in big trouble if God can read my thoughts. Because Becky and I went to see a film last week or something called I Swear. Have you seen anybody else seen that film? I'd really recommend it. It was a brilliant film about a guy called John Davidson. And if you're of a certain age, there was an iconic kind of moment when I was maybe in my late teens or something, where there was a documentary about this guy, John Davidson, because he was the kind of first person, certainly my generation, had ever seen with Tourette's syndrome. And it was a fly-on-the-wall documentary of this young Scottish lad with Tourette's syndrome. And to be honest, rightly or wrong, I'm just being honest with you, we all thought it was hilarious. It was the conversation of the time. I feel like it was in the playground, but I'm not sure whether I'd left school by the time it was on. But I feel like amongst my peers, we all thought it was hilarious. This guy just shouting out the most inappropriate swear words and spitting on other people when they're eating their food. And basically he explained his sort of issue as, if you can think about the worst thing that you could do in this setting, this social setting, and Tourette's for him was doing that thing. So the swearing, Tourette's wasn't making him swear, but the thought the worst thing I could do is swear now made him do that thing. Does that make sense? And so it was sort of funny, or it seemed as funny. It's such a heartbreaking and beautiful film. I'd recommend you go and see it. Because, I hadn't thought about it for a long time, and then here I am as a proper adult watching it, and actually I wanted to cry through pretty much the whole thing. Because this poor guy's life was utter misery. Living in a world where you speak out and use words for the worst thought that you have. There's a bit right at the beginning where he goes to get an MBE because he goes on to do this wonderful work to help other Tourette sufferers. And you can't help but laugh. But what would be the worst thing you could say as you approach the Queen and he says it out loud in front of the Queen, and it involved the F word? I mean, it's sort of funny. There's a bit that really is funny where he goes for a job interview. And the guy says, well, are you a hard worker? And he says, oh, yeah, I'm a really hard worker. I get up really early. I'm always early. I'm a lazy bastard. and the guy looks at him and goes, what is true? Are you lazy or are you a really hard worker? Because you both just said both of the things. And I sort of feel like in my life there is a kind of, and this might be really the wrong thing to say, just forgive me, but like a spiritual Tourette's. I have this thing where I know the right thing to say, but inside, I very often believe a very different thing from what I'm saying. And I'm just being honest with you. And I think I can be honest with you because I think most of you are the same. I could be completely wrong. But when somebody says to you, do you believe in healing? Would you pray for me to be healed? If somebody asks me that, I will pray for you every time. But my spiritual Tourette's wants to shout out, you're not going to get healed. Now, that might feel like a horrible confession. I'm just being honest with you. If you ask me if I believe in God, I'm a minister of a church. I'll look at you and say, of course I believe in God. And I will scream out at the same time, I don't believe in God. Because it's irrational, it doesn't make sense. Do you see this kind of tension that we live in? And if my salvation is based on my thoughts, I'm screwed. If I have to do a test to get into heaven, I'm ahead of some of you guys. I know the Bible, I know theology. I'll pass a test probably, but the problem is the guy giving me the test can also read my mind. And that's just about faith. Goodness knows what God's going to make of my worst thoughts. The fact that this guy, lovely guy, as it turns out, John Davidson, is able to say some horrible things about people is purely because he has the ability to think and think those things. And I have some awful thoughts about God, that he doesn't exist. And that if he does, he behaves in terrible ways. And if he does have this power, why doesn't he use it? And if he can heal, why doesn't he? And why is the world in such a mess? And why did you say you're going to come back and make all things well? And 2,000 years later, things are not all well. They are awful for so many people. So that's what I think, but I might say something different. And we all live in that tension. And I'm being honest with you, if you're sort of thinking, oh gosh, I thought Dave had more faith than that. Sorry to disappoint you, but I also do have a lot of faith. I do believe in God, and I don't believe in God. I do have faith, and I don't have faith. And it's not unusual because we see these kind of things all through the Bible. Somebody even says to Jesus himself, who's standing in front of him, I believe, help me in my unbelief. And one of the most honest phrases that we see in the Bible. But so if belief is an intellectual confidence in truth statements, I don't really know what my hope is. But I don't believe that's what belief is. And it's certainly not what the word belief used to mean. I take great comfort from this. So it's a bit sad, depressing so far. Let me turn it up to slightly towards joyful, because there is some hopefulness about this. There is some hopefulness when you can just be honest about the way you feel and the way you think and the things that you say and what you believe and what you don't believe. Partly because the greater belief I have in God is that God is a God of grace and mercy. Now, they're Christian words, and we should definitely have a Sunday where we talk about grace and mercy. They're very Christian words. But it fundamentally, I believe in the goodness of God. I've changed. Beliefs change, don't they? Surely your beliefs change. I was thinking about how my beliefs have changed. And then I thought, my beliefs haven't changed a little bit. They've changed like 180 degrees. When I was a kid, I fundamentally, and without any tension or problem, believed in a God who really didn't like me very much. How could he? Because I did some horrible things. And I knew that people around me and adults around me were teaching me that God doesn't like it when you do bad things. And God is wrathful and God is angry. And you will pay for the bad things you do. And adults say awful things sometimes to children in their worst moment. Do you imagine how that makes God feel when you behave that way? You know, I can hear my parents saying that. It was used as this punishment. Like, that he must be so disappointed with you. That kind of language that we pick up, that God is disappointed with us, angry. God is misogynistic as I am, as homophobic as anybody else, as disappointed with me, as obsessed with sex, as vengeful, as petty as the worst people around me. I used to really believe that about God. I had this terrible piece of theology told me, but thank goodness his son's a nice bloke. And his son will speak on your behalf and he'll save you from this wrathful, angry God. My belief in that has changed entirely. That who we see in Jesus is God, and actually that old image of God is a false one. Otherwise, why did Jesus come at all? Jesus' purpose for coming was saying, you've got this wrong. If you want to know what God looks like, look at me. And here is the most gracious, the kindest, the most merciful human to ever walk the earth. In Christ, we see the very nature of God. And that is hopeful and beautiful. That all around Jesus was people whose beliefs were wrong, who had that internal tension. These highly religious Jewish people loved by Jesus. These judgmental leaders loved by Jesus. The nobodies, the lepers, the untouchables, the list goes on and on and on, loved by Jesus. All mixed, every belief you could possibly have in the world, all loved and accepted. Maybe challenged by Jesus, but loved by Jesus, not condemned by Jesus. That's the God that I believe in. I love that Rowan Williams said that the theology is the searching for the least stupid things to say about God. I find that really helpful because it kind of reduces. Here's probably my poster boy theologian who's currently alive and British, Dr. Rowan Williams, saying, theology, I can see his bushy eyebrows flagging away. Theology is about trying to say the least stupid things about God because we are stupid people. How can we grasp the infinite God and yet we make these definitive statements to say, and if you don't believe them, you are in trouble. And yet we change our beliefs. My beliefs about God are very different from when I was younger. And I have to tell you, my belief about God as I stand here today will probably differ a little bit from my belief about God tomorrow or the next day or the next day. It might go up, it might go down. There are days when I have absolute certainty in God and my faith in him. And then there are days on end where I think, am I just kidding myself? And it's normal, guys, because he's invisible. Okay, let's just say an obvious thing. God is invisible, so to be asked to believe in certainty with something you can't see or touch or hear. And there are times when I feel like I can almost see God and I can hear the voice of God. There are times of great intimacy and I love those moments, but they are mountaintops and I live most of my life in the valleys of doubt. Because if belief is anything, it is the presence of doubt. All the great creeds that we've been asked to say, that wise people have put together to try and let's summarize the Christian faith by putting creeds together. Every time they've ever done it, do you know what it always begins with? What are the two words of every creed? I believe. Why aren't the creeds, I know? Why didn't anybody ever suggest that I know that God created the world? I know that the virgin birth happened. I know that the resurrection happened. They're not. They're I believe. In other words, in my broken and frail and unwise humanity, I can still make the statement that I believe. Even though I can never fully know, the best I can hope for is to believe. And that's the statement that I want to make. But perhaps even more encouraging as I wrap up is that this, what I'm describing the word belief, is a modern way of using the word. When the word was used in biblical times, when we read the word in Scripture, it's not this intellectual assent to a statement of truth that we've turned it into. And fundamentalist Christians who would go, you have to believe in these statements and we're going to write them down. You know, if I want to go and speak at Sussex University or Brighton University, I have to sign a statement of faith that an organisation have put in place, and I can't sign that statement of faith because there's stuff on there I just don't believe. We use it to exclude people, and it's their way of going, let only proper Christians come onto the campus because universities are not a place of thought. It's a strange statement. But they use it as a weapon. And yet belief in the Bible doesn't mean that. Before the 17th century, in pre-modern times, the word belief, it came from the Old English, the word be luff, which means to hold dear. That's quite mind-blowing, isn't it? The things that you hold dear. Imagine if I'd said to you, what do you hold dear about God? It's where we get the word beloved from. I love that because all of us think, when you think of the word beloved, what do you love? Who is your beloved? That's a vastly different thought than what do you believe, isn't it? Do you beloved God? Do you want to love God? And I told you about all of that doubt that I have, but what I can say to you with absolute integrity, with everything in my life, I want to love God more. I do want to love God. Mother Teresa famously said that in one of her prayers one day, she said, God, I don't love you today. God, I don't even want to love you today. but I want to love you today. And I've lived in that space most of my life. I want to love God. I know that he does hold the keys to truth, the way, the life. And I want to be more intimate with God. And that wanting is believing. You might think, well, that's not, but because the word has changed so much. But to beloved God, for God to be our beloved. The word faith that's so connected and has become so weaponized. You say the word faith to most people, and you're talking in the Christian context, they think that it's the camp that we are in. There are different faiths, and some or one is correct and all the other faiths are wrong. And we imagine a God who looks down on the globe and basically goes, the people of my faith are the ones who I'm saving and loving. The people who are in different faith or no faith are in a different kind of camp. The word faith in Latin is where we go to the root of words like fidelity, fidelitas, fiducia, the word faithfulness, and the word trust. That's what faith means. Let me just show you a quick example. I'm going to read it to you quickly. But this is just like a beautiful picture of what belief and faith looks like in Jesus' time and the way the word was used. Immediately, this is in Matthew 14, immediately he made the disciples get into a boat and go on ahead to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. And after he dismissed the crowds, he went up the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But by this time the boat, battered by the waves, was far from the land, for the wind was against them. And early in the morning he came walking towards them on the sea. But then when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. It's a ghost. And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat, started walking on the water and came towards Jesus. But when he noticed the strong wind, he became frightened and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to you, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." How does Peter get saved in this story? Why does Jesus say you don't have enough faith? I've thought for a long time it means you don't have enough faith to do the magic trip I'm doing. If you just had as much faith as I do, you'd command yourself to stand on the water. I've thought that for a long time. But then you look at the story, and it basically says, Jesus says, "Come and follow, come onto the water." And Peter, in doing so, looks at the one who can walk on water and finds himself able to walk on water. What breaks the magic is it says that he sees the waves and the wind around him. He takes his eye off Jesus. Because in the Bible, belief and faith is about orientation and heart desire towards God. It's not about intellectual belief. It's about the way that your life is orientated. Literally yesterday, this sounds made up because it just landed so perfectly, but I was at a board meeting for something in London, and I was chatting to one of the guys there, and what the question we were asking each other, we were having a conversation with each other about work-life balance and getting it right. And he said to me, "Do you know people? Who are the people who you know who have really who nailed that and who have got it right and who live without stress and have got that balance?" And I said, I spend my whole life looking for the kind of heroes who I want to be like, and then I meet them and realize they're no different to me, really. I've literally met people who have written books on time management who have really bad time management. I've met people about how to deal with anxiety, and they're amongst some of the most anxious people you could meet. They wanted to write the book because they're anxious. They haven't nailed it. And I said to him, the reality is I've met loads of experts and I chat with people, and the reality is we're all drowning. And then he said the phrase, not knowing what I was going to speak today, he said, "We're just desperate to find some people who can walk on water, aren't we? And yet we're all drowning." And in that moment, I was like, "Thank you, Tom." And I thought, what I said to him, it's true. None of us can walk on water. But I do know somebody who can. And the difference of Christian faith is not about my intellectual assent to some true statements. Christian faith is far more about saying, I do not know. I give in to wisdom and intellect. It's great news for the whole of humanity. Otherwise, what does Christianity have to say to people with severe learning difficulties? What does Christianity have to say to people who have received brain damage through an accident? We've got nothing to say to those people because it's about your intellectual assent to truth because you're going to be asked about it one day. Nonsense. Everybody has the ability to turn their life and heart and desire towards the giver of life and love and grace. That is what Christianity is all about. That's what makes it possible. That's what makes somebody like me a follower of Christ, because it becomes possible for me to turn towards Christ and know him. A couple of quotes. Basically, I listened to Sam's talk last week and he had such good quotes. I had quote envy and thought we'll finish with two bangers. Rowan Williams again says, what holds a life together is simply the trust or faith that the eyes and the heart are turned towards truth. Not that we know truth, but that our eyes and our are turned towards truth, and that God accepts such a life without condition, looking on the will rather than merely the deed. Marcus Borg said, the Christian life is not about pleasing God, the finger shaker and judge. It is not about believing now or being good now for the sake of heaven later. It is about entering a relationship in the present that begins to change everything now. That's great, isn't it? It's about entering a relationship in the present that begins to change everything now. Spirituality is about this process, the opening of the heart to the God who is already here. And if you have anxiety about your beliefs and your doubts, my fundamental thing that I want to say to you is to relax. Relax. Because your thought life and what you believe up here is irrelevant, really. How you orientate your life, how you love people around you, how you give generously, how you express kindness. All because if you orientate your life towards God, those things of God that we see in Christ will begin to manifest themselves. I was thinking of an example to finish with, and this feels so stupid. I've spent days trying to think of a better example, but this feels so pathetic. I feel I should share it. I needed some coffee papers, because I do V60, pour over, darling. And I was running out of them. And I came into the cafe here, and I met someone, I don't think they're here today, who was talking about one of these things that Leanne said about what could we be doing differently as a church. And they basically shared with me, one of the things I think that I'd like to take down is Amazon. Which, that's interesting. And then he basically hit me with these facts about Amazon, about their profits, about how many more billions Jeff Bezos added to his personal finances during lockdown, about the practices of Amazon and the way that they pay or don't pay workers and the way that it has dominated everything. And he had a solution. But what stuck with me was this conviction of he's absolutely right, and I use Amazon all the time. And I needed to get some coffee filters, and I have got coffee filters on Amazon. In fact, as it told me when I went to look at them, 19 times I've bought coffee papers, the same coffee papers, and I'm about to press reorder. And my brain is going, where is your life orientated towards? Where are you looking? What do you actually believe in? Because I might say I believe in justice and I believe in equity for people, but the moment I click that button, I don't believe it. My life isn't orientated towards justice. And I came in the next day and saw coffee filter papers on the shelf back there that we sell here. Twice the price. But I bought them here because I was giving to the church, which is kind of giving my own salary. So that's the ultimate circular economy. It was beautiful. I paid myself to buy some coffee filters. But it's a stupid example, isn't it? But that's what you believe. I don't really care what you tell me about what you believe about God. What you believe is who you beloved, and who you beloved is who you honor in the way that you behave. That is Christian belief. I wanted us just to sit and listen to a song as we finish. Is that all right? Just as a way of reflecting. Is that all right, Mark? I would rather hear you sing, but I just wanted to just do this little bit of reflection as we finish. We might even be able to do both. Maybe we'll do both. It's just a short song. But I wanted to just sit and listen to something because I wanted you to go back over that question of, do you believe in God? And what might it be, after all I've just rabbited on about, how might that question have shifted in your mind if you reflect on it a second time? Soren Kierkegaard said that faith is like floating on 70,000 fathoms of water. And that might not make much sense to you, but the deepest trench in the Atlantic is 6,000 fathoms. So it's floating on the top of a lot of doubt and a lot of worry and a lot of mess in the world. But it's the ability to float is your ability to relax and trust that actually the water will hold you. It doesn't matter how deep it is. It's the submission and the relaxing, of relaxing your mind from the stress of what I believe or what I don't believe and going, okay, I give in. I trust in you. I orientate my life towards you. And what might it look like for you to sit here today and just relax in your beliefs and to love God as we sit here and listen to this together?
Slow down, try to breathe in deep, listen to the words I speak. Does it feel like your whole world's fading? Slow down, just slow down, calling out for help, waiting to save yourself from falling into deep. Stop running, stop hiding. I won't lay you down, my friend. I won't let you fight alone. I won't leave you in the cold on your own. I won't lay you down, my friend. Calm down. Come and sit with me now. Pour out whatever's weighing you down. I'm here to hold you up again. Calm down, calling out for help, waiting to save yourself from falling into deep. Stop running, stop hiding. I won't lay you down, my friend. I won't let you fight alone. I won't leave you in the cold on your own. I won't let you down, my friend. I won't let you down, my friend. I won't let you fight alone. I won't leave you in the cold on your own. I won't let you down, my friend.
Let's sing as we finish. It's good to do that kind of act together. And if you've got a child out there, can you go and get them? Which is you, Claire, today. But why don't we stand together?
To fill my soul, believe me, but I come back feeling empty every time. With all of this hustle and this striving, with diminishing returns, I'm running dry. And there's a wisdom in the wildflowers, they don't toil and they don't spin. So I won't lose my mind over every single little thing. There's a wisdom in the wildflowers. They don't toil and they don't spin, no. So I won't lose my mind over every single little thing, no. And you're the still water that my heart longs for. You're the still water that my heart longs for. When I feel the world's too heavy, when I need to find myself, you're the still water that my heart longs for. And I'm trying so hard to believe you. You say worry won't add seconds to my life. And oh, to be anxious about nothing, soaring like a sparrow feather light. Oh, and there's a wisdom in the wildflowers. They don't toil and they don't spin, no. So I won't lose my mind over every single little thing. And you're the still water that my heart longs for. You're the still water that my heart longs for. When I feel the world's too heavy, when I need to find myself, you're the still water that my heart longs for. You're my Prince of Peace, my serenity, calm the storm in me. Oh, and you're my Prince of Peace, my serenity, calm the storm in me. You're my Prince of Peace. You're my Prince of Peace, my serenity, calm the storm in me. You're my Prince of Peace, my serenity, calm the storm in me. There's a wisdom, and there's a wisdom in the wildflowers. They don't toil and they don't spin.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. Do grab your seat again very quickly. I'm just going to do a very quick reminder of the two things that are happening today. Rock Farm 3 to 5, pumpkin carving, all that good stuff. Speak to Sam or Maddie, and it would be great to see some of you back here at 6 for the All Souls service in partnership with Citygate. We always invite people to stick around and have coffee and things, but Tamsin and Craig have very kindly bought some refreshments and things so we can continue to celebrate Frankie's dedication. So do stick around, and thank you all for being here.